In a shocking yet not surprising move, Esra Hudson is starting to walk back the content creator subpoenas and withdraw them, starting with the 5, including myself, that had submitted motions to quash, and it moved over to those that had lawyers who were doing meet and confers with Esra Hudson's law firm on behalf of Blake Lively. Now, we are going to dive into that today. I want to dive into the letter that Esra Hudson submitted to the court, which I'm going to be honest, initially, when I got the email and initially when I saw that filing, I was so relieved. And then my DMs started blowing up saying, what did you turn over? What did you do? Were you actually a part of the smear campaign? And I started to see an uptick in social media commentary that the only way we would have been let out is if we cooperated with Esra Hudson. And therefore, almost this confirmation that we had, in fact, been part of a smear campaign. And I want to clear the air around that. Now, I'll be honest, I'm still very emotional around all of this. And I have worked tirelessly all weekend. I was up almost all night on Sunday. And y'all know that are regular subscribers to the channel how much I love my sleep. So I was up almost all night Sunday, finally passed out, got up first thing this morning. I've been working on it again. Cassidy O'Connell, who is just an angel, had offered for me to copy portions of hers in regards to the law because I'm Canadian and I don't really know the American law. And I think my letter back to the court, I'm not going to read it here. I'm not going to say really much more about it, but my letter back to the court is a pretty solid letter on my thoughts about all of this. And because I am personally involved in this, there's a lot of emotions. This morning, I was supposed to go live with Leanne Newton, who is a lawyer. You might know her on X. She is fantastic. She's one of my close friends I've met through this trial. Absolutely adore her. Think of her so much. I just think so highly of her is what I wanted to say. She was supposed to come live with me today, and I said, I can't do a live. I was having just a breakdown trying to format this stupid letter in Adobe, and I said, I can't go live. I'm sorry, I have to cancel. So we're going to do a short pre-recorded video. Obviously, you're going to know it's pre-recorded. You're here. I'm not live. Pre-recorded video talking about my thoughts about the letter and yeah, I guess a little bit on where to go from here, although I don't want to talk too much on it. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Ashley Branding. Yes, I am number 15 of 16 on the Google subpoena that Blake Lively issued. And here we talk about branding, marketing, and PR. That is my experience. I've had over 15 years of experience within this field. And I do try, although yes, I am definitely leaning Justin Baldoni's side and support Justin Baldoni. I initially supported Blake. I do work very hard to call balls and strikes and to call out Justin's side of something, you know, whether in PR or branding kind of is a bit off, or I would suggest something different. And I do the same on Blake's side and Ryan's side. I have said positive things about Blake and Ryan to the point where not even 24 hours before I received my Google subpoena, I had people accusing me in my comment section of being paid by Blake and Ryan. It's so absurd. It is so reckless, these accusations, and it has real reputational harm because I'm still in the field. I'm not a full-time YouTuber, although I think that would be so much fun. I would love to one day work towards just doing this full-time. Are you kidding me? Hanging out with you guys all day? That'd be the best. Working out when I'm not streaming, tending to my farm animals because I have a farm animal sanctuary. But at this point, that is not the case. So their accusations towards me, baseless accusations, are incredibly reckless and create real reputational harm. But before we get into the letter, it's been such a bad week and I needed something fun and creative to focus on that wasn't client work. Sometimes I have a lot of client work to do this weekend. Sometimes client work helps, but it's just my brain needed a rest. So I made I've been working on it for a bit, been working on the slogans for a bit, but I finally started putting in place to have some merch. So let's check it out, guys. I'm going to pull it up and show you guys. I'm going to put the link in the show notes, comments for you guys to check it out as well. Let's pull it up. So we're still working on the branding, but I'm really excited about this. It's something I did in my personal training business when I was a full-time personal trainer, was have merch, and I haven't had it in a long time, but I love having a creative outlet. So this was a really fun way to get some of that creativity out, and it helped with some of the stress, honestly, because this, and I'm honest about this with the court and the letter I'm submitting, this whole ordeal has taken away from my ability to make money. With the YouTube channel, I make enough to basically cover bills for our farm animal sanctuary. So hay, grain, shavings, new fencing if we need it, etc. I basically cover those bills. I don't make a lot on YouTube, right? So the attention and time that was required for me to research, meet with lawyers. I originally ended up going pro se, but I did talk with lawyers and have consultations with lawyers. All of that took out a significant portion of my time, even on the weekend, right? Even on the weekend, I didn't even get a weekend because I was spent trying to address how I was going to respond to Ezra's lawyer or Esra Hudson, Blake Lively's lawyer, over the weekend. So it's definitely impacted my business. It's definitely impacted my income and being able to pay bills because I haven't been able to take on new clients as I've been dealing with this. So it did also not just have that creative outlet, but also have a way to supplement some of the money and help out the farm animals. So if you've been looking for a way to help the farm animals and you're all about cool merch, I mean, this is a great way as well. It's another option. But let me just show you guys quick. You can fast forward if you don't want to watch. So this is the product suite that I created. I'm really excited. This one's my favorite. Congrats on your little PR crisis. The back says free speech does not equal free from subpoenas, which I love. And on, I don't know if it'll show it. On the one sleeve, it says not a bot with the more you know star. So I'm getting it for myself. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. This one is not a bot. It's a mug. On one side it says congrats on your little PR crisis with a little unicorn. I have a congrats on your little PR crisis t-shirt. There's like so much. Emotionally invested hoodie, which I am buying for myself. The front says emotionally invested in strangers PR or in strangers lawsuits. Also, we're emotionally invested in strangers PR. Let's be honest. And on the one sleeve, it says legacy media is dead with a little cute blue, neon blue skull. But yeah, we have garden variety distress. I don't know about you guys. I love stickers. So I created some stickers. Garden variety distress. Don't fuck with mommy sleuths. So the beginning or the front says, I spot liars and SEO manipulation. So this one doesn't have anything on the back, but it is the sleeve. I wonder if it will show me. Man, I'm trying to navigate. Why won't it show me the sleeve? Oh, that's a shame. You can't really see it, but you can see a little bit here. It says, don't fuck with mommy sleuths on the right sleeve. So that's another one we have. Not a bot stickers, trust no headline stickers, fuck your subpoena stickers, yummy and sparkly stickers. If you know, you know. We do have one sweater towards the animal rescue. It is a little bit more because it has more printing on it. Obviously, more you put on, the more the cost. I have this confidential. Free speech does not equal free from subpoena. So if you want hey guys, you need this free speech journal. Why? Because if you put all your notes in Google, Blake Lively might subpoena them. So she can't subpoena your free speech journal. So make sure to grab a free speech journal and then you can write your notes down that you're finding, or she can't subpoena them. This one I'm getting immediately. So yummy and sparkly. It's a yummy trucker hat, I call it. Yummy and sparkly. Yummy, I think, was the first word where I was really teaching you guys SEO manipulation. So that is a new one as well. My Roman Empire is sham subpoenas Tumblr. So that is in honor of citizen journalists who has become a friend of mine. This mug says so yummy and sparkly on one side, and on the other says fuck mornings. And trust no headline mug, and on the other side says just a spicy girl living in a narrative controlled world. So this is up. It's just fun. It's fun. It's a way to support the channel, to support me. We have some tank tops. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys like it. I'm really excited about it. I'm buying some for myself because I'm selfish and I want this. So you will be seeing me. I just ordered it, or I just created the store yesterday. So I'll be putting an order through for myself. But without further ado, let's jump into Ezra's letter. I needed that good laugh and that little bit of a break, but let's dive in. Okay. So this is Esra Hudson's letter. And I will say, first and foremost, I did not meet and confer with them. And to my knowledge, unless someone is lying to me, no one else on the list that is included here did. It is my understanding that those that had legal representation had. So that's the misrepresentation right off the bat. And I am including my emails between me and the firm on the documents that I'm submitting to the court today. So Ezra Hudson files, Dear Judge Lyman, Plaintiff Blake Lively writes in response to the motions to quash as to specific portions of Miss Lively's July 3rd, 2025 document subpoena to Google LLC, DBA YouTube. Google subpoena as to third parties Lauren, Ashley, Mackenzie, and Cassidy O'Connell, and to Miss Lively's July 3rd, 2025 document subpoena to X Corp as to third party Leanne Newton, the X subpoena. Based on the third party's representations made in meet and confers, public statements, and or information provided in their moving papers, there is no further information required from the subpoenas as to these specific third parties at this time. I feel like I'm tripping over my words a lot today, so please bear with me. It's like I said, I'm very tired. I need a nappy. Okay. The first thing here is we are not third parties, we are non-parties. And one of my biggest concerns with that is it seems that by labeling us third parties, to me, it gives them more in terms of a PR perspective. Well, they're third parties. We had every right to subpoena them. We had every right because they're working with Wayfair on this magical, mystical, wonderful smear campaign that's untraceable, so we can't figure it out. Now, we are non-parties here, so I do take issue with referring us to third parties. And another piece here is based on third parties' representations made in meet and confers. While this may be seen as not an outright lie because there were lawyers that met with Ezra's office, again, to my knowledge, no one here did. Therefore, representing that we had meet and confers with her office in a letter that is directly referencing us is not truthful. That's a lie. Public statements, I made my public statements before I ever submitted my motion to quash. Not like the second she had done all that, I submitted my public statement. And not only that, I've always said I wasn't involved. I've always said I wasn't paid by either side. I have always said that I try to stay neutral. So there is no new, really public statement or public information that had not been previously available on my content and information provided in the moving papers. You can read my motion to quash on the docket. It was basically saying, I have nothing to do with any of this. WTF. I did not provide anything in my moving papers that I haven't said publicly all along. So this to me is misrepresentation of the facts. We did not meet. My public statements are things that I have said all along that I am not involved, that I am not paid, that my thoughts are my own. I have videos that are critical of Justin Baldoni's approach to PR and branding. I have videos that are positive to Blake and Ryan. Yes, I lean towards Justin because I believe him based on the available facts. And in fact, I believe Blake Lively less now because what she's done is a pattern. She issued a sham subpoena with Van Zandt. She also tried to take out a photographer that she didn't like. I think it was in Canada. I'm looking into it now through the legal process. And now she's done it with us. So all of this has done to me is confirm that I'm on the right side of history. All this has done for me is confirm that her and Ryan allegedly, I don't need another subpoena, allegedly use the law and their power and connections to take out people they don't like. And the only thing I can imagine, and sorry if I sound weird, I have like such a swollen throat. I think it's just stress. Like I said, I need a nap, I need a vacay. I don't get either. I have a really swollen throat. So I don't know if I just sound weird in my head or I sound weird talking, but I'm still very sick. So all of this is shown to me is that what Justin has said about her is real. And all this has shown to me is that they had a plan in PR because she was already Blake Lively. My opinion only, guys. Take it for a grain of salt. This is from what I've seen. That he responded with a PR team and had spoken about plans to respond to what she had already instigated, to respond to what she had already put in motion. You're allowed to defend yourself. And so to me, based on everything, and let me know what you guys think in the comments, all this has proven to me or shown to me is that everything the Wayfair parties has said about her appears so far, based on publicly available information, to be legit. Because she didn't come for us individually, she came for us through Google. And that would have been the only way to get to really people that are out of the country as well. I'm in Canada. There's, from my understanding, other people in Canada, Sweden, the UK that were targeted. And because our information was held in an American company, you can get to our information much easier than you can get to us. So to me, this just seems to expose a pattern of abuse of the legal process. Allegedly, my opinion only. I am open. Blake, if you're watching, Ezra, if you're watching, I am open to seeing things differently. I have said this all along. I've said all along, I will be the first person to come on and put forward the proof that Blake brings. I haven't seen it yet. All I continually see is the law being manipulated, power being manipulated, connections being manipulated to take out people that Blake and Ryan don't like. And to me, because Ezra's office and no one connected with Blake will give us a straight answer on why our names were included, the only thing I can come up with is we said something Blake doesn't like. The only thing I can come up with. Because I wasn't paid by Wayfair. I wasn't connected to Wayfair. And I saw someone comment, which this really grinds my gears. Saw someone commenting saying, well, I think they targeted certain accounts because they don't have a huge following, but they have like an exceptionally large, they have exceptionally large engagement. No, that's just smart community building. That's just smart branding. Do you think that's by accident that I built a community here? You think that's by accident that I would prefer, which I said multiple times, slow growth with the right people rather than going viral with the wrong people? That's all by design. That's not because Wayfair is in my back pocket or I'm in theirs. That's absurd and shows that you have no understanding of proper branding or marketing or PR. The fact that my channel has more engagement than channels with subscribers that are double, triple, quadruple my size is by design. And also, speaking of that, if you're new here, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, say hi. Let's prove to them that you are not a bot. Maybe drop in the comments, I am not a bot. Or you can grab a mug or t-shirt that says you are not a bot as well. So, it's absolutely absurd. And if that is what they're basing it on, Blake and Ryan, I feel bad for you if your companies with the wealth and connections you have aren't getting good engagement. That's a concern for your brand, not a reason to attack people and assume that they are working on a smear campaign against you. That's a branding problem. That's a fundamental branding problem. So then they go on to say no further information required, which I take issue with as well. No further information not only implies that information was given, but has also ignited a firestorm of people on social media being like, see, they turned something over. See, they gave them what they wanted. And I've provided many screenshots. I will read it to you once it's officially submitted, so probably tomorrow. Many screenshots of people saying exactly that. Well, they must be involved then. They gave Wayfair. They gave Esra Hudson's office and Blake Lively, dog hair in my eye, what they wanted. That is a harmful narrative to seed. And I find it exceptionally hard to believe that Esra Hudson and Blake Lively do not know that there are eyeballs on the docket and that seeding that information would turn into viral talking points for pro-Blake accounts. I find it exceptionally hard to believe. And if they play dumb around that, I mean, maybe you shouldn't have involved a PR expert on the docket officially. It's just absurd. Words matter. Maybe that's another piece of merch I need. Words matter. Leave me comments on what you want to see on merch. Leave some comments. Prove to Blake you are not a bot and that this account has high engagement because we're a fucking badass community that cares about the truth, that cares about exposing headlines, that it cares about the media manipulation that happens in lawsuits like this when you're dealing with powerful people that are rich and famous. And this isn't just about Blake and Ryan. It's about politics, everything, big corporations, how they manipulate headlines and information, and allegedly using the courts to do it. No information was given over. You can refer anyone you want to this video. I did not turn over information. The extent of our conversation, I'm not going to show the entire email stream here because you're just going to have to like, subscribe, and hang out for the next video when I read it to you. I'll read it to you. Just let me get it filed officially first. I needed a break from writing or I was going to start crying. From frustration, just from sheer frustration. Okay, I'm just going to read. I'm pulling it up on my screen where I can see it. And I'm going to read it to you. I'll read a couple portions. So I was they reached out, Esra Hudson's office reached out to me and said that they wanted to meet and confer. Hear me when I say this, I had very real concerns that meet and confers, because of my history in branding, marketing, PR, very real concerns that meet and confers were going to be used as talking points and that we would be misrepresented in it. And they denied anyone, not to me directly, to others, because they had touched base with others prior to me. They denied us recording and in fact sent multiple emails to ensure that we wouldn't record and that no one would be listening into the call. I had very real concerns that we would be misrepresented, our words, etc., would be misrepresented and be used against us as talking points. But even as an extension of that the meet and confer itself would be used as a talking point for Blake Lively's PR. So I basically reached out and I said, given the sensitive nature of this matter and the potential for misrepresentation, I am not available for a call. So like and subscribe. So I'll read the whole thing to you later. And then the next email I get from them, this is the next time we spoke, was, "Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. In reviewing your moving papers, we've concluded that there's no further information required from the subpoena at this time." And then they withdrew it. The motion to quash, they could have challenged in court. All I basically said, and you can read it, and I've even read it on this channel. I'll actually link me reading my own motion to quash. All I said was basically, I wasn't involved. And then I was also helped by the wonderful Leanne Newton, Cassidy O'Connell in providing legal information for that, because I've never written anything like this before. I'm not a lawyer. I don't even play one on TV. So it was a complete misrepresentation of the facts. And in my opinion only, to be used for PR. And one of the things I'm asking for the court is to deal with this appropriately, because my belief is that this was dealt like this from Esra's office to open the door for talking points with legacy media. It's a win. All the content creators that filed motions to quash, it was denied as moot. They'll probably just run with denied. It was denied. You want to make a bet? They probably won't once this is all filed, but we'll see. There might be already wheels turning on this. It's a talking point. It's a win, quote unquote win for Blake, because the content creators were denied. And then you seed this information to give the talking points of, well, because they turned something over, so they were involved. And that is so reckless and abhorrent behavior. Using the courts as a vehicle for PR after Blake Lively's team had called out Justin Baldoni's team for doing that. And don't get me wrong, I think both sides have done that. But Blake Lively, the audacity it takes to try and call out Justin's side for that when they do it and engage in it is just asinine. So they say, as the court knows, a core component of Miss Lively's claims center on the Wayfair defendant's digital media smear campaign, which sought to manipulate the media landscape against her using untraceable sources to paint Miss Lively as the aggressor instead of the victim. The Wayfair defendants have recently taken to mocking Miss Lively's reference to an untraceable digital campaign, claiming that such a notion defies common sense, as they are well aware the term untraceable was coined by defendant Melissa Nathan in discussing the blueprint of the Wayfair party's retaliatory plan. And again, there is no proof at this point that it was an actually retaliatory plan, because you are also allowed to defend yourself. The minute that people, if I was Justin Baldoni, the minute that people started unfollowing me on social media, knowing Taylor Swift's history with when she has a problem with someone, it's like a mass bestie, cool kids table unfollow of that person on social media. I think that happened to Joe Alwyn when Ryan had previously been praising Joe Alwyn in the media. The minute if I was Justin Baldoni that I saw that shit go down, I'd be getting ready because I would know what was coming. And so if he did see people unfollowing him and certain things going down that were a little sus, is that a retaliatory plan or is that defending yourself? I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. Let me know in the comments. So Melissa Nathan says, this is to Jen Abel. Hi, Jamie, Jen. So incredibly glad that and this is all a PR piece. Make no mistake, including the screenshot is a PR piece. Hi, Jamie and Jen. So incredibly glad that the press went so well today. And from what I know, Justin felt incredibly supported. He's lucky to have you all. We took the day today to do some research and get digital quotes in from two teams we use that get the best results. As you are both aware, we are in a predicament that we just do not know the outcome right now. Saying that full transparency is key here. We have seen the most innocuous issues turn giant due to the socials, or the hugest crisis have no effect on social whatsoever. You just cannot tell at this stage, which is true. But Blake Lively does have some of the Taylor Swift fan base, so we'll be taking it extremely seriously. I also thought this was hilarious because they did not have to include this whole thing. Blake Lively's side continuously whines and bitches that Justin Baldoni's side is bringing Taylor Swift into it. Girl, who brought Taylor Swift in again? You could have just put a certain piece of this. You did not have to include Taylor's name in this. Again, what I've said many times is what I'm starting to notice a pattern with Blake is what she accuses others of doing is what she does. And that's probably why she's paranoid that other people are doing it to her. If you treat people like shit and you do imaginary smear campaigns and you tear people down and use the legal process against them, you're probably going to be paranoid that other people are going to do it to you. Continues, we also understand audiences is not solely JB fan base, but the studio, so it is covering all bases there. Quote one, 175K. This will be for 3 to 4 month period, and that's actually like on the lower point. Period includes website to discuss full Reddit, full social account takedown, full social crisis team on hand for anything, engage with audiences in the right way, start threads of theories to discuss this is the way to be fully 100% protected. Quote two, 25K per month, minimum 3 months as it needs to seed same as above. I always say that to clients too, minimum 3 months. You get people that come in and they're like expecting a fucking miracle in an hour session, that their whole business is going to be fixed. I have people come in for a consulting session, no matter how much I say you need to have a specific direction for the call. And they're like, build my brand and my marketing campaign and my PR in 1 hour. It's not how it works. So this is 100% industry standard, minimum 3 months. So it says for 3 months includes so it needs to seed same as above. This will be for creation of social fan engagement to go back and forth with any negative accounts, helping to change narrative and stay on track. All this will be most importantly untraceable. So this is what I'll say. One, I didn't even know because Blake Lively's been saying this over and over and over and over again. And I don't want to steal someone's very clever way of putting this. So I'm going to let her filings hit the docket first and her have authorship over it. But Blake has been saying this continuously over and over again. And the thing for me is, okay, so if it is in fact untraceable, they're not putting money in my AdSense account linked to my YouTube. There is no black market access or vortex to my AdSense account through YouTube. So if it is in fact untraceable, do y'all really think that they're paying me through my AdSense account in YouTube? Or to a bank account associated with YouTube? Is that how you legit find an untraceable campaign? Honestly, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, common sense. What does LZ always say? Common sense is chasing you, but you're faster. It's one of my favorite LZ quotes. And it seems to be the case here, which is what also leads me to believe this was all PR. so that they could keep bringing up this untraceable smear campaign. So they could be like, but look, Melissa Nathan's the one that said it. We've tried, we've done everything, and we got the information we needed from these people. It's all PR. And I will also say, I find it very hard to believe that Blake Lively's side isn't doing this as well. PR is not nefarious. PR is not inherently a smear campaign. It's not inherently retaliatory. Everyone uses PR. I would find it hard to believe that Blake Lively isn't getting this shit done as well on her side. It continues, Miss Lively's subpoenas were one part of a discovery process aimed at gathering information to link the Wayfair parties to sources through YouTube and X creator accounts. Again, how does my IP address, unless you genuinely believe, Ezra & Co., you genuinely believe that, I don't know, my farm that I show is AI and I am holed up in Steve Sarowit's basement with like a wall of like a bot farm set up with like Leanne Newton, who I would love to meet in person, and Lauren and Cassidy and all these people I genuinely love and have never met in person. Y'all think we're just like holed up in Steve Sarowit's basement? And the life I put on Instagram, showing you my farm animal sanctuary, my dogs that I adopted, the work I do, is what, AI? Y'all are off your rockers. It's just bizarre to me. How does my IP address help you with that? I'm not trying to be a smartass, but genuinely, like, this kind of stuff I would have liked to know, but never got an answer to because I didn't meet and confer, and I didn't give any information over. If anything, the only person I know that's in Canada on either side is Ryan Reynolds. So if anyone you could argue that maybe I have some kind of connection to, maybe would be Ryan Reynolds because I'm Canadian. And I'm actually not that far from where he's supposed to be setting up Hollywood North. Maybe I'm in the basement of Hollywood North, which is taking forever to get started, by the way. Maybe I'm in the basement there. Oh no, maybe people are right. The people that are accusing me of being paid by Blake and Ryan, maybe you're right. You know, this is so ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm being a smartass, but this is just so ridiculous. How my address and IP address and bank account helps them with this. It's absurd. It's laughable. It was just all, in my opinion, PR. And this is why I think it's critical that the judge not just let this go and be like, yeah, okay, whatever, because it leaves the door open for them to use this as PR. Miss Lively's counsel has met and conferred with various individuals whose account information is subject to the subpoena, not in this letter, including third parties who have filed motions to quash. No. Sorry, I don't want to be too loud and like I start coughing uncontrollably because of my throat. No. Including third parties who have filed motions to quash, as set forth above, has determined to withdraw the subpoena as to them, which I appreciate. I do appreciate. Because y'all, I don't need the stress. I was stressed right before I got the subpoena. I was talking about how I was finally coming out of like a period of like extreme stress. I've had a lot of loss this year. It's just been a depressing year. And I literally had a video the day before, I think it was the day before or 2 days before I was served with the subpoena, saying I'm finally coming out of that. And, you know, I'm starting to shake this chronic cold I've had. And then I get hit with this shit. So yes, thank you. I do appreciate the withdrawal and I support the withdrawal. However, I do not support the mischaracterizations attached to it, because it is just further reputational harm and reputational damage for myself and the others. There's no other way to put it. And it's allowing people like Ex-Patriarch and that crazy Leslie and these platforms I shared on my Instagram over the weekend that this James Seidel from CC News Network had an article come out, Blake Lively fights back, exposing bot smears and people hiding behind fake accounts. This narrative that Esra Hudson has seeded is incredibly reckless and dangerous. You are leaving people in the line of fire of honestly some very deranged individuals. You do not see pro-Justin people setting garbage cans on fire outside Blake Lively's house. You do not see them sending kidnap attempts to people involved with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. You do not, from what I've seen, and I apologize if I'm wrong, you do not see pro-Justin people seeking out certain content creators and just harassing them day in and day out with vile posts. I don't see any of that behavior coming from Justin's side. So you're leaving individuals here, Lauren, myself, Ken's, Cassidy, and Kiara. Why is that always? It always gets me. I just want to call her Kiara. Leanne. I love you, Leanne. You're leaving us in the line of fire of very unhinged individuals. And certain people that have been anonymous on their YouTube there's individuals on Pro Blake that are trying to dox them. That is unacceptable. And it's because of these legal filings that Esra Hudson has been putting out. It's not okay. If Blake Lively is truly a stand for women, Blake, prove it then. If you are who you say you are, if you desire to rebrand and stand behind this rebrand, show us. Put out a statement. I misjudged. I made a mistake. I do stand with women. Maybe tell your little minions to back down, to leave people alone, to stop trying to dox people. Because here's the thing. You could argue, well, yeah, certain creators are putting out content that's awful towards Blake. No one is going to Blake's personal accounts that I sure shit haven't. I haven't seen anyone here do that. And harassing Blake. She can avoid the videos if she doesn't like them, if she disagrees with them. And I have videos that are very nice to Blake, especially Ryan. I've called him a marketing genius in multiple videos. I have defended him to the point that I was getting harassed by pro-Justin people. I almost stopped covering the case because I was getting harassed by pro-Justin people and pro-Blake people. So if you want to rebrand, stand behind your rebrand. Stand behind it. You've said that women are safe nowhere. Well, you're the spark that ignited lack of safety and privacy for all of the individuals that you swept up in these subpoenas. So stand by what you say. Includes Miss Lively's counsel has provided each of the third parties a copy of such withdrawal with the exception of Cassidy O'Connell, who moved under a pseudonym and has not provided a service email or other contact information. Given the subpoenas have been withdrawn as to each of the third parties who moved, plaintiff respectfully requests that each of their respective motions to quash be denied as moot in their entirety. And I also have issue with denied as moot because words have power. And again, from a PR perspective, as soon as you put on the court docket that they were denied, legacy media doesn't care. Certain people aren't going to care. They're going to push the narrative that content creators were denied and Blake won. She's going to be off on her victory lap, sharing her hair care in her Instagram stories. We all know that's going to happen. So it's dangerous to then deny them as moot. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what the other option is here. I withdraw them. Yes, I am in support of that. The verbiage of denied as moot is dangerous rhetoric, and it has the potential to leave the door open for dangerous PR narratives to come out from Blake's side. And I'm going to be honest, expected them to hit this morning, Monday morning. But also Monday morning isn't the best time to launch a new PR campaign. It's not the best. People are getting back another week. Usually Tuesday is a better time. So while I do appreciate that they seemingly saw the light and error of their ways, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt there. I do believe that this letter was entirely a PR narrative to seed because we are seeing it with pro-Blake accounts. And they are pushing a narrative that we turned something over, that we are involved. And that's the only way we got out of this. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave it there, this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure if you're new, like I said, to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I want to prove to them that we have high engagement because we're just an incredible community. It's like a family here. Maybe Blake and Ryan can't relate to having a really strong community. And that's why they attacked our channel. And I have said from day one that the attack wasn't necessarily on me. It was on the channel because you guys are smart. You ask questions, you stand for truth, and you advocate for truth. And that is dangerous to people in power that want a certain narrative pushed. So from day one, I have said, it's the channel they're coming after. It's you guys they're coming after. And so now that I'm seeing pro-Blake accounts push that smaller channels have engagement that is way too high to be organic, let's show them what high engagement is, guys. All right, my friends, with that, subscribe, check out the new store. So excited. Tag me on Instagram if you get anything. I'm so excited to see you guys with that merch. And stick around because I have a video coming later on my thoughts in regards to, oh, guys, did you hear this? Oh, for the love of God. If you watched my Instagram stories over the weekend, you know that I had a lot of concerns in regards to Gwyneth Paltrow doing the ill-advised PR campaign for Astronomer, which is the company that was tied up in the CEO HR Coldplay disaster, PR disaster. Turns out Ryan Reynolds and Maximum Effort did that ad. So you guys are already sending me messages over on Instagram saying you called it, that something was off. We're going to break it down in the next video. So hit notifications, subscribe, like, do all the, as Emily D. Baker would say, YouTube-y things. And with that, guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.